30 miles an hour.
Well, welcome to GTK Cars. I'm Chris, and depending on how I set this video up, this might be the first thing you see, or it might actually come later in the video because we filmed this one a little different than normal. Today we're going to show you a blast from the past, something a little different, unique, and what I consider in deep down in my heart, very, very special. One of my favorite car brands in the entire world, and today we managed to get our hands on one. It's not brand new, but it looks just as stunning as ever. Today we're going to give you a nice little overview of the 2008 Aston Martin V8 Vantage. So you're looking at a 4.3 liter V8. Look how beautiful it looks under here. Everything's nice and neat. Got your brace right here. Gorgeous, gorgeous looking with the Aston Martin logo. Have our badge right here, hand built in England. Final inspection. Apparently Mick did that one. We got 380 horsepower in this absolutely stunning beauty of a car. So at the front, you get the classic Aston Martin grille, which looks fantastic. Of course, your logo on the front. The lights, I actually really like the lights. When you're looking at the car straight from the front, how they just kind of move inward. I think they have a really nice, the housing here has a really nice shape to it. I like the circular lights on the inside, and of course the strip right here. This color is my favorite color of Aston Martins. If I was going to have one, I would want a silver one. I think this is absolutely stunning, and it's got the sparkle in the paint that's absolutely gorgeous. We have functional vents in the hood. We can actually feel the heat coming off of it right now because we actually drove the car before during the review. We did it a little backwards. So very functional, as are the side vents. Those are functional as well. The car, it gives the car good styling, but it also gives it functionality. Allows you to drive the car without it overheating. It's a really nice touch. The only thing I never thought if I ever got the chance to do this with an Aston Martin that I would have anything to complain about. But as far as visually, your little turn lights there, I don't really like the way that those look. I think it takes away from the beauty of the car. It just looks like they threw something cheap together and threw it on there. Not a fan of that. Coming along, got a nice line in the side, really gives it something. The handles here are flush with the car, which is really nice. Back in 2008, this was something that was a little less common to see. Now you see it on Range Rovers and a good assortment of cars, except now they automatically pull out when you come up to them. This one, you just push on the lines and then you can open your door like that. And the doors do actually not just open outward, but they pull up a little bit too, which when you're at the front of this car and you have the sort of these wing doors open up, it's such a beautiful, beautiful sight. I can't get over how gorgeous this car is. Really nice Aston Martin rims. I think they look fantastic. They're very fitting for the Vantage specifically, and of course the Aston Martin brakes there. Coming around to the back, I've always loved the tail lights on Aston Martins, how you actually have the painted piece right in here kind of separating your tail light. I think that is absolutely gorgeous. That way you don't have this big bulky looking tail light on this really fine, exquisite designed car. Get your Vantage badge here. I really like the pipes on the back. I mean, it's very simple design. They just cut it out on the body panel here and brought them through. I think they look really good, and oh my gosh, does this car sound absolutely amazing. It really, really does. Now, the really interesting thing about this is if you're taking this, you want to take this on like a little short weekend trip for a couple of days or something like that, you're wondering, well, how practical is it? First of all, inside, pretty good amount of space. The more shocking part, we have the roof down right now. The roof has its own compartment in here, so it's not going to directly affect whether you have the roof up or down, your trunk space right here. And this is actually quite impressive for a sports car like this. It's deep. You can see we have a lot of our camera equipment setting in here at the moment. That's actually impressive. Throw a couple little duffel bags in there and you know, go somewhere for a couple of days. Very easy to do. And in case you get locked in the trunk, you got a little pull tab, although it would be it'd be a tight fit. And then while we're out here, I will also note One thing we noticed while driving it with the top down was the fact that you're not bombarded by this harsh wind. Even when you get up to like 55 or 60, you get this nice windbreak back here. This is actually quite large compared to what you see in a lot of convertibles. Usually it's a much smaller piece, doesn't always extend behind your actual seats. I don't know if that's what's actually helping or it's just the overall shape of the car, but a really nice, smooth, just chill drive with the top down. You're not getting beat to death by wind, and I think that's fantastic. So being a 2008, a few things about it are still a little retro. The fact that you do have a physical key. It's a nice looking key, it is, and then you get your actual fob kind of separately, all kind of joined together by this nice little leather piece in the middle, which is pretty nice. You got your lock and unlock, and then you do have a spot to pop the trunk open. Now starting the car is something I'll show you in a minute, and that's quite an interesting event. Steering wheel, just, you know, nice. It's not overly styled, I don't think. I love that the paddle shifters are mounted to the steering column. That is the proper way to do it, which in an Aston Martin, that's the way I would expect it to be done. Your gauge cluster, of course, we're going back to 2008. It is analog. You have your needles and everything, but there is a digital readout of your speed as you're driving. And this gauge cluster, these old style needles and everything, it's got this nice brushed aluminum look behind there, that metallic look. I think it really looks high end. It really does. Everything in the car, for the most part, feels high end. The seats feel great. You got leather material everywhere. Places that are silver are actually metal. It really is nice. Everything through here has a nice feel to it. You got your stitching running through. Your old school analog. Here's your Aston Martin analog clock, which I think looks really cool. Of course, you can tell it's 2008, you know, with some of the keypads and buttons on here and everything. Your drive modes, reverse, drive, all that's right there. So I'll actually show you that real quick. To put it in, to start it up, you got to make sure you put it in the right way, because this key is it's kind of flat on one side, so you got to put it in the right way. Turn the key, what feels like almost a full turn, then put your foot on the brake, and then push and hold the button. And that is how you start the car. And then obviously your different modes here are right through here. You would just hold that to put it in drive, and you can hear it put it in drive, especially with the top down. Then put it back in neutral there, which is really nice. And another feature is the handbrake over here. As we, I'll get out and show you. As we learned, we can pull it up to put it on, and rather than leaving it up here, that way it's not in the way of you getting out, you can actually put it back down. Handbrake stays on because it tells you up there on your gauge cluster, and then you really got to kind of pull it, push it back down to get it off. That turns the handbrake back off. That's actually a nice feature, so it's not in your way, since it kind of is right there where you're getting in and out of the car. And then lastly, I will mention the Alcantara. Oh my goodness, this is just on these pillars and across the top. Now your sun visors are really itty bitty. You get a tiny little mirror, and they're not gonna block a ton of sun, but they're there, and they're made of nice material. It really makes it feel high-end in here, especially when you have the top up and everything. Everything just feels good. It feels luxurious. It's a nice place to be, that's for sure. This really is a nice piece. You got a nice spot there to rest your arm, but on the inside in here, you can feel it's got that same like Alcantara like this. It's got a really nice feel when you grab onto that, and I think that's actually really super cool.
Are we recording?
We are recording now.
This has been very nerve-wracking to...
and you haven't even gotten out of the parking lot yet. Tyler is driving a 2008 Aston Martin Vantage. This is like a dream car of mine. This is an era. This is like one of my favorite eras for Aston Martin. But what an honor it is to be just sitting in this car. How's it feel so far driving? Other than nerve-wracking.
It feels small and not tight. I like that. I like being alone. Moderately apprehensive, just because obviously
It's got a nice sound to it when you're accelerating. I can feel those hard shifts just as a passenger.
Yeah. If you didn't tell me that beforehand, I would have been
like, what's wrong with it?
Slightly more worried.
Yeah. We got our Alcantara all around, just really nice premium materials in here. It really is a nice car. I mean, it's older, it's outdated. You can see the nav screen's outdated, but what a cool car this is.
Right.
And just hear that engine.
Yeah, the engine.
From that accelerator. It's a good noise.
It's a gurgle. It's a gurgle.
Very, very beautiful noise. Definitely the nicest sports vehicle I've ever been in.
Okay.
Because what I have this to compare to, really, like a Corvette. That's about it.
Yeah.
And the quality of materials in here is definitely better than a Corvette. And when we were driving it before we put the top down, everything seems actually pretty well held together in here. Like in the Vet, there's so much plastic that moves around when you're turning and driving.
If this was a BMW from the same age, everything would be nicked up and beat to hell.
Yes. This has been well taken care of. The materials, being so high quality, have held up well.
I'm very conscious of my surroundings.
As you should be.
As I should be.
In any vehicle, in any situation.
But definitely in this one.
It's a heightened sense of...
Yeah.
Yes. Well, but even as a passenger, I can feel those aggressive shifts. And that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
That the car is doing that on its own. It wants you to have fun. Oh, he was looking.
Oh, yeah.
He was looking.
Yeah, his passenger was looking too.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so good.
I still think Chris is a little bit more excited than I am.
It's so cool. Aston Martins are my dream. If I had all the money in the world, the first thing I would do is go buy an Aston Martin. I don't even care if it's brand new. I love this right here. It's perfect. We just appreciate the opportunity to drive one of these and to let you all know this is for sale at Bruce Woodring Auto right now. So if you're looking for a good deal on an Aston Martin 2008 Vantage, give them a call, talk to Sabino, and let him hook you up with this astonishingly high-end, super cool car. 14-ish years old, and it still gets looks as if it were a new one.
And 225,000 miles less than mine.
Yes. So we've got 26,000 miles on the odometer, just a little bit over. So, I mean, it's a clean, low mileage vehicle if you are looking for one of these things.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Is it better than a Miata? I don't know.
I think the reality is you can have just as much fun in this versus a Miata. That's not going to change.
I think the smile on your face is going to be slightly different, but you're still going to have a big smile.
You're going to have a bigger smile on this face because, first of all, name brand, especially in this country, it matters. And Aston Martin
matters. I'm a huge F1 fan.
The iconic styling of these cars and the fact that you're driving the James Bond of cars. I mean, it's the James Bond car. How cool is that? You can't say that driving a Miata. What iconic movie character drives a Miata that you can think of? Okay, we're good. So now I get to experience driving the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, and something I've always wanted to do. It's like a dream come true. Get the handbrake off.
We'll see.
I'm getting the handbrake now.
Yeah, well, but yeah, it's a
You just really
you gotta push it down.
You really do. Yeah, the gear shifts, wow. That's incredible. They're such heavy gear shifts. I mean, it's just, but it's doing it for you. That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Really big steering wheel for a smaller car.
Great wind circulation while you're driving.
It's like perfect.
Yeah. And like,
how do they do that? Maybe just if you blindfolded me, put me in the car, and then took the blindfold off, had everything covered up, and I didn't know what it was, and just let me drive it. what I would like the sound when you're accelerating, and I would really like the firmness of the steering. I would love that, but nothing else would be like, oh my gosh, I have to have this car just from the driving standpoint. It's special to me because it's an Aston Martin. Because everywhere I look, I see the Aston Martin logo. I see those wings. I see it on the steering wheel. I see it in the gauge cluster. I see it on the start button. I see it on the analog clock in the middle. It's everywhere, reminding you that that's what you're in. You're driving excellence. And the looks you get from other people while you're driving it, if you don't remember you're driving an Aston from the 15 different badges in the car, you're going to remember because everybody's looking at it.
So there's a subtle difference between Corvette and Mustang looks and the looks we had in this. Because the looks we had in this, people don't necessarily know what it is, but they know it's nice and they're looking to try to figure it out.
Yes. This is actually more understated than the cars that it first of all directly competes with, and especially compared to a Corvette. And I like that. I like the subtleness of it. It's just elegant. It's just beauty. It's not insane looking like it's going to rip up the roads like a Lamborghini or something. It's just casual, and I really like the understated styling. It's mature and sophisticated. I like the feel of the accelerator.
I don't love it.
It's sort of squishy. There's cushion there. So
it's like different zones.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, there are. You know, the only sad part about this car, I mean, the inside is very nice. Like I said, very luxurious materials. But I wish I could see the outside of the car while I'm driving it, because the outside of the car
is nice.
That's the car. That's the beauty of it. I would be likely to have an accident in this car driving in like downtown traffic by the glass buildings, because I would constantly be having to look so I could see the car.
Recording.
We are recording now.
This has been very nerve-wracking to...
and you haven't even gotten out of the parking lot yet. When it's not your car, we are very, I can assure you, we're very careful with these cars. We treat them like we would our own, and I baby all of my cars. My cars are my babies. So absolutely, we're careful with them. We just appreciate the opportunity to drive one of these and to let you all know this is for sale at Bruce Woodring Auto right now. What is so sad, we have to take it back. I don't want to take it back. I just want to drive it home, get my wife, gather a few things, and then just go somewhere where we can't be found anymore and have this beautiful car with us. That sounds better, but I guess we'll take it back. You're driving the James Bond of cars. I mean, it's the James Bond car. How cool is that? You can't say that driving a Miata.